A fine good morning to everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to extend to you a very warm welcome to the next sponsored 2-day national level online seminar on challenges and remedies in online education in rural India, organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell of our college.
COVID-19 has struck us without a warning, and all educational institutions are scrambling through its demand. It has also created a need to creatively deal with such unforeseen transition from traditional teaching to online teaching. Educational institutions of urban India easily adapt to digital education, but the rural areas of the country are still struggling to switch over to the digital learning mode. The existing gaps in imparting education between urban and rural India has to be equated for the sustainable growth of the country. The digital education barriers in rural India can be eliminated through the provisions of affordable and accessible e-learning modes.
Hence, the focus of the 2-day national seminar is to address the manifold barriers recording creating the education as complete online phenomenon in rural areas and provide an ingenious pedagogy, accessible educational devices, proper infrastructure, and a quality ecosystem for the expansion of digital learning in rural India.
We are so happy to welcome the most respected secretary, the AP Selvarajan sir, Reverend Principal, Dr. S. Krishnamurthy sir, Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Md Raman, Professor, Department of Chemistry, Gandhigram Rural Institute, Gandhigram. And the respected Vice Principal, Mr. P.K. Balamurugan and Ms. R. Muthulakshmi Madam, heads of the various departments, faculty members, participants from other college to the occasions of the knowledge sharing.
To give a red carpet welcome to everyone, may I take the pleasure of requesting a respected IT coordinator, Mrs. L. Priya, to welcome the gathering.
Good morning to all. So it's all my pleasure to welcome today's gathering for the NAC sponsored 2-day national seminar, Challenges and Remedies in Online Education in Rural India. In the past few years, the pandemic period moves our formal education mode to online. Thanks to WebEx, Zoom, Google Meet, Internet, WhatsApp, and all other online media, which helps us in delivering education to all our students. But the fact that we need to accept is, still many of our parts of rural India doesn't have enough facility for all these online medias. We need to find the challenges faced by the people and also the solutions for our rural people. So we thank the National Assessment and Accreditation Board for sponsoring this seminar in the right time. I wish to welcome our principal sir who guided us in all our actions throughout this seminar arrangement. I welcome our Vice Principals, Dr. P.K. Balamurugan sir and Ms. R. Muthulakshmi ma'am for this occasion. Now, I wish to welcome our today's chief guest for this session, Dr. Md Raman sir, who readily accepted our invitation for this seminar. So, we welcome you, sir. I welcome all our participants from various colleges to this seminar. I welcome the head of the departments and all the faculty members of our college. I also welcome our rapporteurs, compiling and technical team and everyone to this event. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. A pessimist complains about the wind. An optimist tries to change it, but a leader navigates the sea.
I am profusely elated to take an opportunity to invite the most principal of our college, Dr. S. Krishnamurthy sir, to be present.
The resource person of the session of 2-day national seminar, Dr. Md Raman, Professor, Department of Chemistry, the Gandhigram Rural Institute, deemed to be University, Gandhigram Dindigul District. Our college vice principals, Dr. Balamurugan and Ms. Muthulakshmi, coordinator of IPSC of our college, Mrs. Priya, members of IQC, all of our college, HODs, members of the staff members, research scholars, and other participants from other colleges. Good morning to you all. As such, it is my duty to thank Mac Bangalore for sponsoring this two-day seminar on challenges and the remedies in online education in rural India. Moreover, I'd like to give due credit to our IQAC coordinator, Mrs. Priya, and other members of IQAC of our college for getting sponsorship to conduct this two-day seminar. As such, in respect of the seminar, it is pertaining to online education, in particular online education in rural India. After the pandemic, we started taking classes in online mode. When we have started ASSET, we thought that it is a temporary phenomena. More or less, it is substitute to offline education. After some period of time, we thought that we will be moving back to offline education. But the trend is not like that. As such, it seems this sort of online education may be continuing forever because of certain development. One such development is UGC now started recommending for blended learning mode. So they are stressing about having online mode of education continuously, even if the pandemic is over. UGC recommends that nearly 40% of the curriculum should be covered only through online mode. Even recently, we come to know that even the central government, they are going to start the digital university. What does it imply is, so the online mode of education is going to be there permanently in one form or other. At the same time, we have to see that what are the challenges, how to find out the remedies for it. So as far as the education is concerned, the teachers are involved, the education institutions are involved, mainly the beneficiaries are the students. But as far as the students are concerned, they do face a lot of problems, no doubt about it. They do face, especially the students from rural India, rural areas, almost they are totally at the receiving end. You know the reason for it. The reason is there is a digital divide. As such, we cannot do anything in immediately improving the infrastructure. It is in the hands of the government. Likewise, as far as the mode of education is concerned, still the students in total they are dissatisfied because under online mode of education, out and out there is no transfer of knowledge. So the basic purpose of having education is transfer of knowledge. But many surveys are conducted, many studies were conducted. What the students are saying is no transfer of knowledge is taking place under online mode. So as such, there is a problem. So as such, there is a bottleneck. So as such, there is a lacuna. What is the aim of this two-day seminar? We have to solve. We have to find out the remedies for it. At the most, we have to find out the solution for it. Accordingly, the discussion should be centering around. So almost all the participants will try to see that we are touching upon all those issues. If at all there is a solution, if at all, especially if it is an innovative solution, we have to work it on. That is more important. Government, as such, we know that already they have started e-Padasala. Already they have started swine DDH channels. How far we have to see, we have to discuss, we have to consider how far they are effective. Suppose if it is found to be ineffective, means how to make it as an effective one. Accordingly, you have to have a discussion over it. So, in the case of online education, now we come to know that it is going to be a permanent. If it is so, what are the things to be done to remove the bottlenecks that are the bottlenecks of being involved in the online mode of education? Because we are saying that in the case of conducting of examination, evaluation system, so as such it is unsuitable because this evaluation system is meant for offline educations. But we have to see, we have to develop a evaluation system which is mostly suited to the online education. So here again, the participants will try to give your own ideas. If at all there is a solution, you please express it. Even in the case of the curriculum, it is not at all suitable for online education. We are pursuing it because suddenly we are forced to have an online education. We cannot have much discussion over it. So just for the purpose of perpetuating the education system, immediately we were switching over to online education. But our present curriculum, how far it is suitable to the online education. So in this way, there are many things to be considered. There are many bottlenecks. Especially in the case of the students, our utmost aim should be to remove such bottlenecks. Whatever be their problems, we try to solve them. Then only the online education system will be successful. With this, let me conclude and wish the today's national seminar all the success. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom.
We find great delight in felicitating the respected guests. For this, we request our respected Vice Principal, Dr. P.K. Balamurugan sir, to offer felicitation address.
Good morning to one and all present here. Most respected principal of our college, Dr. S. Krishnamurthy sir, and today's resource person, Dr. Md Raman sir, Vice Principal Madam, and IPSC Coordinator, HODs of the various departments, and the participants from Kalisari College and the participants from other college. Once again, good morning to one and all. The today national level online seminar on challenges and remedies in online education in rural India. Today, the participants almost experienced the online teaching for the past 2 years, and every one of them experienced lot of problems, and on their own they have identified some remedies to settle that problem. So that's why the experiences they are going to share with the other participants will help others to also to solve such type of problems. And not only the technical issues related to the rural India students, and some of the social psychologists or social scientists are saying that it has its own impact on the behavior aspects of the students also, because before that COVID or online education, all the students are presented in the campus and they listen to the faculty members in person. But in online education, the students are also facing some problems related with their behavior aspects. And not only the students, even the faculty members are also disturbed with some other external elements that because of that online education. So this seminar will focus on the challenges of the students as well as the faculty members. In some cases, some of the parents are also experiencing some problems because of this online education. And in the outcome base, the first batch of that COVID or online education is going to pass out in the May or June 2022. And what is going to happen in them for them in observing by the corporates, and what will be the effect on that is also is going to experience in the near future. So this is the right topic for the right time to discuss the challenges and remedies for online education. As rightly said by our principal sir, that online education is going to be a permanent one for the coming years. So this is the time to discuss the challenges and remedies in online education, that too in rural India, that is for the village students. I appreciate the efforts taken by the coordinator of IPSC for arranging such a type of program, and I thank the IPS NAC on behalf of the college for sanctioning the national level seminar, and I wish the program a grand success. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
I'm delighted in requesting our respected Vice Principal, Ms. R. Vislakshmi Madam, to facilitate the event.
Good morning to one and all connected in this virtual Samana. First of all, I would like to congratulate our IPSC coordinator and the team members to get this opportunity. And also, I congratulate all the participants to have the platform to discuss about the challenges what they have actually faced during the Corona period when they have taken classes for their wards. So this is the right time to discuss about the changes in the classroom. So in the virtual classroom, the teachers as well as the students have faced a lot of difficulties. The difficulties are behavior based as well as the technological based. So the seminar has helped the teachers, lecturers to discuss about how to find a solution for the difficulties which we have faced during the virtual classroom. So I wish all the participants to perform good in this seminar. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
We take immense pleasure to introduce the guest of honor, Dr. Md Raman, Professor, Department of Chemistry, the Gandhigram Rural Institute, Dindigul. Let me give the leading task to Dr. M. Sujata, Head Department of Biotechnology. I welcome you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. It's my great privilege to introduce today's chief guest, Dr. Md Raman, Professor of Chemistry and Controller of Examination, the Gandhigram Rural Institute, deemed to be University, Gandhigram. Dr. Md Raman had his MSc and PhD in the National Institute of Technology, Trichy. He has 32 years of teaching and 36 years of research experience. His areas of specialization include natural product chemistry and surface protection strategies. Professor Raman has published 146 research articles in leading international journals with good impact factors, and his publications are widely cited. 20 scholars have been awarded PhD under his guidance, and 8 scholars are presently working under his guidance. He has delivered more than 400 invited talks in various national and international conferences, both in India and abroad. Professor Raman has completed 10 research projects. He has mobilized rupees 5.27 crores through projects. Besides, he is also the Assistant Director of an Indo-US 21st Century Knowledge Initiative project of UGC, which is being executed in collaboration with the University of North Florida, USA, with a financial outlay of rupees 1.25 crores. He has also served as the coordinator of Lemelson Recognition Monitoring Program, a project funded by Lemelson Foundation, USA, and executed in collaboration with IIT Madras, with a view of fostering innovations. He is the recipient of Mascot National Award 2018 for his Electrochemical Society of India. He had the honor of being included in the list of top 2% of world scientists compiled by Stanford University, Elsevier Research Intelligence, and SciTech Strategies for the year 2019 and 2020. He is the recipient of Mid-Career Award of UGC in 2021. He has held several administrative positions in GRI and has traveled widely on academic assignments. Professor Md Raman is associated with several Indian universities through membership in various academic bodies. He served as a Director, Research and Development in GRI. He was the head of the Department of Chemistry for 3 years and Director of IPSC for 8 years. He also served as the member of the Interim Administrative Committee, discharging the functions of Vice Chancellor during the year 2008 to 2009. As a Director of IQAC, he successfully steered the Gandhigram Rural Institute to get A grade in NAC accreditation during the second and third cycle. He is the recipient of Institutional Society Responsibility Award from GRI, from the Honorable Vice President of India in recognition of the outstanding contribution made as a Director of IQAC. He has undertaken many quality sustenance activities, including the development of PBAS format. He has conducted academic and administrative audits in 6 universities and 25 colleges across India. He has served as a resource person in more than 40 NAC-sponsored national conferences, workshops. He is actively involved in quality sustenance activities such as curricular design, outcome-based education, quality matrices research, research quality circles, quality benchmarking, and creation of institutional database. Besides, he has served as overall coordinator for visit of UGC teams for the review of 11th and 12th 5-year plans of Gandhigram Rural Institute. Currently, he is also serving as the controller of examinations in GRI. With these words, I conclude my introduction. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am.
Nothing great will be achieved without great men, and men are only great if they are determined to do so. I feel honored and privileged to invite our guest of honor, Dr. Md Raman sir, to give a keynote address.
Very good morning to all of you, respected principal of the college, vice principals of the college, my dear colleagues from Kandishwari College and other colleges. A very happy morning to all of you. I'm indeed honored by the invitation to deliver the inaugural address on this NAC-sponsored seminar, and I'm sure that the deliberations of this academic meet will help us overcome the challenges the COVID is actually posing to all of us. Now, let me share the screen for a moment. I think you have disabled me to share the screen, or can you, enable me to do it?
Enabled, sir. Now it's enabled, sir.
Enabled, huh? Good.
Yes, sir.
So this is kind of okay. So I'm indeed honored by the invitation. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is the kind of challenge that we have, and we all know education is for life, education is through life, and education is throughout life. And education is said is the manifestation of perfection, which is already in man. That is what Swami Vivekananda says. Now, the voice of today, they say that if I cannot learn the way you teach, will you teach the way I can learn? That is the kind of question which people are now asking. Our education as such is a kind of system where you have one size fit all type of principle. So our education system, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will have its whole life believing that it is stupid. That is the kind of words we heard from Albert Einstein. Ladies and gentlemen, in a rapidly changing world of today, one thing is very certain. Yesterday's education system will not be today's, and even less meet the needs of tomorrow. This is what Dr. D.S. Kothari said. So there is a changing scenario that is actually taking place. There are drivers of change. Globalization has changed. Deregulation has brought a change. Technology has brought a change. Now COVID-19 has brought a bigger change. So whatever these three things could not produce, your COVID-19 overnight has brought the kind of change which nobody really expected. Please remember one thing, there is a change from a liberal classified education to an industrially oriented commercial education. See, we now have an emphasis on occasional aspects. There was academic independence earlier. Now there is industrial relevance. Personal development was insisted. Now manpower planning is actually taking place. Research for knowledge was actually taking place. Now it is directive research. People are worried about, they are asking for this particular problem, what is the kind of solution that you have? For COVID-19 itself, we have, 28 countries joined to attack this particular problem. Everything was teacher-centric earlier. Now it is all learner-centric or student-centric. It was the education institutions were viewed as centers of teaching those days. Now we say that there is a center of learning. It was a university campus. Now it is 24/7 universal campus. So there is a kind of change that is actually taking place. Traditional method of teaching had all the ills. The students were the receiver of the information. The educational material was actually the information. The delivery medium was chalk and talk. That was the kind of, principle that was actually, that was the kind of teaching we had in the earlier years. Now it is all changing. Earlier, people used to continuously talk for an hour or two without knowing the students' response and feedback. The material present is only based on lecture notes. There was an insufficient interaction. Everything was actually going above the head, overhead transmission. More emphasis was given only theory. There was less importance for, practicals. So learning was actually from memorization. There was no understanding at all. That was the kind of, education people had. Now COVID-19 has brought a change. The invisible has changed the world upside down. WHO warns that coronavirus may not go away at all. The Indian government has warned that we have to live with the virus. A new normalcy has set in. Educational function is going to be very much different. So what we had was pedagogy. That really became pedagogy. Now it has moved to cybergogy. Webinars, we were very much interested. Now it is becoming web boring nar. I do not know how many of you are logged in to 5 webinars at the same time. So simultaneously, people are attending 5 or 6 different webinars now. Total educational change is inevitable. I went to a college for a knack purpose. A person was telling that he has, attended 128 seminars during the pandemic period. That is the kind of certificate he was actually showing me. Now things are changing. People are talking about education for, 4.0. Education 4.0, has a learner-centric, innovation-oriented ecosystem. Now, there is a shift from memorization to the availability of materials and IT-based or IT-driven education. Now it is actually a kind of new education, innovation-oriented ecosystem. Education is now demand-led. It is not supply-led. It is competency-based curriculum which we are insisting, not actually the knowledge-based curriculum. Incorporation of disruptive technology has become inevitable. Modular degree is actually being talked about. Emphasis more on emotional intelligence. People are trying to focus on purposefulness, mindfulness, leading to happiness. So anytime, anywhere learning is actually taking place. Student customized learning is being taught. Everything is becoming student-centric. Student what they want. New education policy says multi-exit, multi-entry system. It is all project-based learning, task-based learning. So experiential learning through e-internship, mentorship and projects. People are trying to interpret the data. Everything is becoming application-oriented. As differential assessment of students is actually coming into role. Your principal rightly said that we are not prepared for a new type of assessment. The assessment system we have now is for the old system. What is that we are trying to do now? Teacher's role is now to facilitate the entire thing. Now there is a focus on communication, collaboration, critical thinking, creativity. ICT is becoming a compulsory one. Programming is actually becoming compulsory. Coding is actually becoming compulsory. Digital delivery is actually becoming a must. So these are all the kind of work that we have. Now people are, focusing on interactivity, content delivery and revision, managing learning and resources, collaboration, communication, variety of teaching and learning preferences, the new type of assessments, not the regular formative summative assessment. So are you able to see? Are you able to listen to me?
We are able to hear you, sir.
Okay. So there are advantages. For example, your newer, web-based learning provides a kind of interactive learning experiences. You are able to stimulate and motivate students to learn, provides comfortable learning. Now it caters to different learning skills. They can record it and play it as and when they like. It helps to gain valuable computer skills, aids in collaboration, group work. Number of such differential experiences you are able to list through this online education. So communication is facilitated. Creativity is actually promoted. Flexibility is introduced. Variety is there. The multimedia effect, actually people are tuned to that. So boring chalk and talk is actually being now increased. There is an increased access. To ask people to mute, somebody is talking. Cross talk is there. We should have an increased access. Efficiency is there. Learning is actually taking place. Teaching is really now made interesting. Skill formation takes place. Lifelong learning, planning and management, community linkages, everything is actually through ICT now. That is what is actually happening. Now, people had PPT, multimedia presentation, interactive videos, video conferencing, computer simulation, computer assisted tutorials, practice programs, web-based learning, digital library, digital examination, online examination, so many proctored examinations, so many things really have come in teaching, learning, evaluation methodologies. Now there are challenges. There is a kind of lack of seriousness. The boys really do not take it. When the pandemic really set in, for the first few days, teachers very happy to explore into this ICT-based learning. The boys were also happy listening. Now we don't really know whether the student has learned a learning or his grandmother is learning. So the boy actually puts the headphone onto the grandmother and he goes away. So there is a kind of lack of seriousness. The kind of seriousness which we have in face-to-face interaction during the offline teaching, that is totally missing now. Please remember one thing. See, people cheat. Okay, people do not really want to be very serious at all. Teaching is taking place, learning is not taking place. Teaching is taking place, learning is really not taking place. Every 5 minutes we ask, Suresh, are you there? Priya, are you there in the class? So this is the kind of teaching methodology we are into it. We don't really know whether Priya is listening or Priya's grandmother is listening. So what is really happening, we don't know. So many problems are really there. And how to overcome this? There is a kind of social disparity. On one hand, students who are from the affluent section, they are able to have a gadget, an Android gadget. He or she is able to access technology through that. There are poor sections of society who do not have connectivity, who do not have a gadget. So how to insist? The last week when I was attending a class, a boy joined the group only 15 minutes later. I asked him, what is the problem? He said that I have to travel 11 kilometers. I'm in Aircard, so I go to a spot where it is 11 kilometers away. Only then there I will get connectivity, he said. I didn't know what to say. For a test, a girl was skipping. I asked the girl, why is that you skipped the test? He said that me and my father, we share a instrument. So he has taken, and he said he promised me to come back by 10 o'clock. Unfortunately, he was held up somewhere. He was not able to come. So as a result of which, I was not able to join with that. I am not able to, write the examination with the video on, he said. There are such difficulties are there. How are we going to overcome this? There is a kind of social disparity which is there. How are you going to bridge? Of course, government is going a new, giving data free. Okay, data cards free is actually given. Laptops are given, and digital universities are created. Content is given. So NPTEL and other courses are introduced. So many things, initiatives are there. But the social disparities, the kind of disparities we have in our society really makes all this throw a kind of challenges, as a result of which we are not able to overcome at all. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say that, see, there are lots of, I do not want to take much of your time, I'm given very lesser time. So what I just would like to say is, please remember one thing. So what I just would like to tell you is, this is a kind of, sorry, just. So a new challenge has come in. Teachers are responding adequately to it. The problem is we have not still got a new learning management system in many of the institutions. We do not hired a new exclusive G Suite or some platform through which we can, host the classes. That is not there. Third is we have not validated the e-contents. So all these things are to take place in the coming years. We have to make it really happen. So they say that this pandemic may probably stay in forever. We may have to live with this pandemic forever. So even if it lives with us for decades, we should be able to overcome it. We have done it in the past. I'm sure that institutions will take enough and more efforts to see that the learning is really taking place. Some kind of seriousness is introduced. My wife is a principal of a school, a CBSE school in Dindikal. She was telling for the past 2 years, a student was joined LKG. now is in the first standard, the child does not know how to hold even a pencil. The child does not even know how to hold a pencil. So similarly, we have given Tukupasa to everybody. And those boys are in the third year now. And if you ask them the portions in the first year, they are not able to. The moment you say that there is going to be offline examination, students are perturbed, they agitate. Why? Because they do not really want to go for offline examination. The online examination, they can copy, they are able to manipulate, they are able to do anything they like. So what I'm trying to say is, we have to instill some kind of seriousness in them. We have to tell the students that they are not really learning for the sake of a degree or marks, for something beyond all this. So we have to think beyond what? I mean, COVID, we have to make them prepared, and we have to inculcate some kind of seriousness in them. And we'll have to also prepare materials which will really be of help to them, so that even if worse challenges come, okay, suppose if there is a syndemic, two pandemics attacking at the same time, the student should be able to do that. So I am sure that the mankind will respond adequately to all these kind of challenges, and colleges like Kalisari will probably do more and contribute, just not with I mean, conducting a conference of like this. They will also devise enough and more strategies to overcome these challenges. And with these few words, let me thank the authorities of the Sri Kalisari College for giving me an opportunity to discuss the kind of issues with them. And I'm sure that the two deliberations they are going to have today and tomorrow will be of use to them, not only to them, to the participants from other colleges also. I wish that you take these things very seriously, because if education, I mean, if development has to take place, it can take place only through education. Empowerment through education is the only way out for a nation to be a developed one, to emerge as a developed one. If India has to emerge as a knowledge superpower, we have to see that learning really takes place. So if learning has to take place, you'll have to have probably have differential approach. You don't have to have, I mean, you have to have multiple approaches. So we may not really know when will again be classes be, I mean, made online. So now examinations are, I mean, online. For some time we will have offline classes. I do not know when we'll switch over to online again. So we should be prepared for the worst. So let us prepare ourselves. Let us prepare our students also. Let us make learning really happens, so that the students really gain a lot knowledge. Please remember one thing: teaching, research, and extension were the three dimensions of education earlier. Now placement has become the fourth dimension. If the companies who are recruiting, if they are not satisfied with the kind of education that we are giving, we will never be able to what? I mean, lure students at all. If students think that by coming to this college, they are not going to get any degree, they may not really be able to come at all. Many men drop out even. Attrition rate may go. So as a result of which, so colleges may probably die, slowly start dying. Mellat Tamil Sagum Ramari, college, so slowly number may come down. If the students are not going to pay fees, if the teachers are not going to be paid, okay, all that, if only informal education is going to be encouraged, only if online education and such things are going to be encouraged. So what is the kind of life for a colleges of today? So will they undergo transformation? We don't really know. So we should be prepared for the worst. So we will deliberate all these issues, so that even if worst thing happens, we should be able to satisfy the needs of the society, needs of the nation, and make students come out, emerge out successfully. So thank you all for listening to me, and I look forward to have continued interaction with the Kalisari College, and I'm sure that they'll be able to do very well in the educational arena and make a mark in the educational map of this country. Thank you all for your presence and patience. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your words of wisdom. The inaugural address clearly expressed that the e-learning tools have played a crucial role during this pandemic. While adapting to the new changes, staff and student readiness needs to be guarded and supported. We again thank you for offering the solution to tackle the online education effectively. Thank you, sir.
We would now start with the presentation. You would request the presenters to please limit their respective presentations to 10 minutes. Participants are requested to handwrite to clarify their doubts and record their comments. Now, paper presentation session, session 1.
Good morning, ma'am. Shall I start?
We would like to invite K. Anita and Dr. P. Geeta, Assistant Professors, B College for Women, to present a paper on single value neutric logical analysis of online education, challenges faced by rural communities.
Good morning, ma'am. Shall I share my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Kindly keep your video on, ma'am.
Ma'am, sorry, ma'am. My video is not enabling, ma'am. I couldn't get it now at present. Sorry for that, ma'am.
And now you can try, ma'am. Now we have enabled the options.
No, ma'am. There is a problem in my device, ma'am.
Okay.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry very much.
Okay, ma'am. Continue.
Ma'am, is my screen visible, ma'am?
No.
No.
Yeah, now it's visible, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning to all the delegates present in this virtual meet. First of all, I would like to thank God Almighty and our Madam Dr. Mrs. P. Geeta, Assistant Professor in Mathematics, B.V. Vannipermal College for Women, Virudhunagar, who had guided me with great support for presentation of this paper. I am Mrs. K. Anita, Assistant Professor in Mathematics, B.V. Vannipermal College for Women, Virudhunagar. COVID-19 pandemic situation has changed the entire education system. The need of online education is indisputable in today's environment. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, education has changed with the extraordinary rise of e-learning system in urban and rural areas. Teaching, learning, and evaluation are undertaken on various digital platforms. At present, educational institutions have implemented their complete e-learning system. In real life, uncertainty situations do exist in each and every e-learning process. Single value neurosophic logical analysis has been used to overcome the uncertainty aspects in e-learning process in the current scenario.
Ma'am, kindly present your PPT, ma'am. Ada screen ரொம்ப சின்னதா இருக்குது.
அப்படியா ma'am?
View கொண்டு வாங்க. Presentation view கொண்டு வாங்க.
Ma'am, இப்போ ஓகேவா ma'am?
F5 press பண்ணுங்க, present ஆயிடும் full screen க்கு.
இல்ல ma'am, F5 தான் ma'am போட்டிருக்கேன். வரலையா ma'am? இல்ல எனக்கு இங்க full screenல தெரியுது மேம். அங்க விசிபிளா இல்லையா?
ஆகல மேம். உங்களோட பிபிடி குள்ள தான் இருக்கீங்க. உங்களோட பவர் பாயிண்ட் குள்ள தான் இருக்கீங்க. நீங்க வந்து ஸ்லைட் ஷோல இல்ல.
F5 போட்டிருக்கேன் மேம். என்னோடது full screenல எனக்கு எனேபிளா தெரியுது.
சரி
Full screen
ஓகே மேம். நீங்க பிரசன்ட் பண்ணுங்க.
ஓகே மேம். full screen-ஆ தான் என்னோட இதுல இருக்கு. ஓகே மேம். Nutrosophic set was introduced by Marandek in 1995 as a mathematical tool for dealing problems with indeterminate data. In Nutrosophic set, indeterminacy is quantified explicitly, whereas truth membership, indeterminacy membership, and falsity membership functions are independent. And Nutrosophic set A, defined on the universe U, x equal to x of TIF belongs to A, with TIF being the real non-standard or non-standard subsets of 0, minus, and 1 plus. In the set A, T is the degree of truth membership function, I is the degree of indeterminacy membership function, F is the degree of falsity membership function. But in a single value Nutrosophic set A, for each point x in the universe of discourse x, whose truth membership function TA, indeterminacy membership function IA, and falsity membership function FA belongs to closed interval 0, 1. In this paper, we analyzed the common challenges faced by teachers and students belonging to rural areas with single value Nutrosophic logical analysis. Also, we arranged the common challenges with uncertainties in e-learning, such as adaptable to the online format, computer knowledge, technical problems, and time management in a sequential order. These are the basic concepts in single value Nutrosophic sets. We have defined it, that is, if x is a continuous function, then a single value Nutrosophic set A can be written as A equal to integral of the 3 tuple T of x, I of x, F of x. And whenever x is discrete, a single valued Nutrosophic set can be written as A equal to summation of T of xi, I of xi, F of xi, such that xi belongs to x. And the Cartesian product of two single value Nutrosophic sets is defined as A cross B equal to a 3 tuple consisting of TA of x, I of x, FA of x, and TB of y, IB of y, FB of y. And similarly, AND operation on two single value Nutrosophic sets is defined as TC of Z equal to minimum of TA of x, TB of y, and IC of Z equal to maximum of IA of x, IB of y, and FC of Z equal to maximum of FA of x, FB of y. OR operation on two single value, these are all the logical operators in single value Nutrosophic sets. We define the OR operation as TC of Z equal to maximum of TA of x, TB of y, IC of Z equal to minimum of IA of x, IB of y, and FC of Z equal to minimum of FA of x, FB of y. Now, online education, challenges faced by rural communities. We have dealt it with single value Nutrosophic logical analysis. In today's world, education has been filled out with the new innovations and discoveries by e-learning. There are many challenges faced by rural communities in e-learning, such as adaptability in online format, computer knowledge, virtual engagement, self-motivation, time management, technical problems, social engagement, and so on. In real life, uncertainty situations do exist in each and every challenges faced by teachers and students in all the aspects. Here we have analyzed the common challenges such as adaptable to online format, computer knowledge, technical problems, time management faced by the teachers and students belonging to rural areas with uncertainty situation in e-learning system in a sequential order with single valued Nutrosophic logical analysis. We have considered the challenges, the common challenges to teachers and students, the 4 challenges as adaptable to online format, computer knowledge, technical problems, and time management as parameters. We have chosen these 4 challenges as our parameters. And X1 is the first parameter adaptable to online format. X2 is the second parameter computer knowledge. X3 is the third parameter time management. And X4 is the fourth parameter technical problems. According to Nutrosophic logic, T is the degree of truth membership, I is the degree of indeterminacy membership, and F is the degree of falsity membership. We have collected the data from both teachers and students. We have constructed 2 single value Nutrosophic sets, P and Q, with common parameters. We have defined it in such a way here. P and Q are defined with the common parameters, 4 parameters, X1, X2, X3, X4. The numbers denote the truth membership value, indeterminacy membership value, and falsity membership values inside this 3 tuple. But in real life, the relative importance of the above common challenges faced with uncertainty aspects caused in e-learning is not known well. So, to arrange the challenges in a sequential order, according to the priority, we present the below algorithm. So we have written an algorithm here. We have created a table for single value Nutrosophic sets P and Q. P represents the teachers and Q represents the students. We have input the single valued neutral suffix it's P and Q and find R of alpha I comma beta j. We have computed R of alpha I comma beta j as minimum of truth values, I maximum of indeterminacy values, and maximum of falsity membership values, and then calculated rho t, sigma t, and tau f. For I not equal to j, we have calculated aij equal to rho t plus sigma t minus tau f. We developed a pairwise comparison matrix, analyze and compare each pair of items and mark the preferred item. And using rating techniques, we found out the weights for the parameters. After that, we have found out the XI WSM score, that is weight sum method score for each and every parameters as summation of Wj Aij, and we determine the ranking in a sequential order as per the maximum scores of the parameter. So this is the tabular form of Aij. Using the logical operator and we find, and that is cap, we found out rho t plus sigma t minus tau f values. We change the three tuples into a single number according to the table, according to this values. And this is the pairwise matrix for the parameters analysis matrix. We compared using rating technique, we compared each and every parameter pairwise and form this table. Ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, உங்களோட introduction slide மட்டும் தான் எங்களுக்கு தெரியுது. We can't view the next slides. So I think நீங்க உங்களோட sharing stop பண்ணி திரும்ப share பண்ணுங்களேன்.
அப்படியே மேம். ஓகே மேம். ஓகே மேம்.
இதுல ஜூம்க்கு வேற மாதிரி பண்ணணும்ல. ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் பண்றது.
மேம் இப்போ தெரியுதா?
Now we can see ma'am prioritization of matrix for the parameters. Now we can continue ma'am.
Okay ma'am. Okay ma'am. This is the prioritization matrix for each parameters. According to, we have found out the weights according to the prioritization of the parameters. And then the score of Xi for each parameter is computed. For the WSM score, that is a weight sum method score for first parameter is computed as 0.3457, and the WSM score for the second parameter X2 is 0.3312, and the WSM score for the third parameter X3 is 0.2876, and the WSM score for the fourth parameter is 0.4137. According to the maximum scores, the parameters are ranked and arranged in a sequential order as X4 greater than X1 greater than X2 greater than X3. So using the single value neurosophic logical analysis, we have analyzed and arranged the common challenges faced by teachers and students in rural communities in a sequential order for a successful e-learning. So the first challenge is technical problems, and the second challenge is adaptable to the online format, and the third challenge is computer knowledge, and the fourth one is time management. So coming to our conclusion, corresponding to the priority given in sequential order, this is an easy way to overcome the challenges faced by rural communities for a successful e-learning. Remedies may be carried out under the preference to overcome the challenges, which results with successful outcome of e-learning system in rural communities. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable research. Participants are requested to hand raise to clarify their doubts and record their comments. Participants, they are requested to put forward any queries, if any.
We request the participants to ask some questions.
Ma'am?
Ma'am?
You have chosen so many parameters in your studies, ma'am.
Ma'am?
Yeah, you have chosen so many parameters
Yes, ma'am.
in studies.
Yes, ma'am.
From your findings, may I know which parameter is the best one, ma'am?
Ma'am, according to our study, the first parameter is technical problems, ma'am. Technical problems is the first challenge we face, ma'am. We have considered 4 challenges. So the first one we have got is technical problems, network issues, ma'am. While learning in online education, students and teachers face the technical issues. The first challenge is technical problems, ma'am. The first parameter.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you,
Now,
ma'am.
the next presenter is Dr. S. Vimal Dolly. We would like to invite Dr. S. Vimal Dolly, Assistant Professor, Holy Cross College, Nagarcoil, to present the paper on online education in India.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. You are audible.
Okay. Good morning to all. I am Vimal Dolly, Department of Economics, Holy Cross College, Nagarcoil. My topic is online education in India. Online education is the computer and network enabled transfer of skills and knowledge. Online education applications and process includes web-based learning, computer-based learning, virtual education opportunities, and digital collaborations. It is commonly thought that new technologies can make big difference in education. In young age, especially, children can use the huge interactive
Ma'am, please present your screen. Your screen is not visible.
Okay. Now, ma'am?
No, ma'am. Started.
Ma'am, now again you can try, ma'am. You can try to share your screen, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Now, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Especially children can use the huge interactivity of new media, develop their skills, knowledge, perception of the world under their parents' monitoring. Many proponents of online education believes that everyone must to equip with basic knowledge in technology as well as use it as a medium to reach a particular goal. Next. Objective of the paper is to analyze the opportunities of objectives of the paper is to analyze the opportunities of online education, to find out the challenges of online education. Methodology of the studies, the study is based on only secondary data. Secondary data were collected from books, journals, project reports, and internet sources. First of all, we see about opportunities of online education. First one, cost effective and save time. Online education courses do not demand students to present in the classroom necessarily. Students can proceed with the course from the comfort of their home or any place they deemed convenient. This cut down the money on travel and save a lot of time. The self-placed aspects of online education shines through all obstacles. The best part of online education is that you can study whenever you want, in bus, store, coffee shop, or home, or absolutely anywhere you want, and you can learn it at your own place. Next, higher knowledge generation. To make education interactive and interesting, online education employs numerous methods like blended learning and gamification, etc. Tackling course process became easier. A well-implemented learning management system makes tackling course process more effective and easy. Next one, encourage sharing. Online education provides students with the chance to share the knowledge acquired through online communities. Sharing of resources in online education is also an extremely healthy way for education to flourish. Next, we will see about challenges of online education. First of all, the internet is still luxury in many parts of the country. A vast majority of Indian population resides in rural areas. The lack of infrastructure is such areas give rise to connectivity and accessibility issues. Next, digital literacy and no infrastructural support. A significant proportion of rural population continues to fall short of require internet bandwidth and knowledge to recognize device and digital technologies. And another major issue involves the absence of supporting infrastructure facilities such as stable flow of electricity and unavailability of high-speed internet. Access to proper device and cost of data for rising use content consumption. While talking about digital learning, it is important observe the accessibility of accurate device for each student to avail digital content. In rural areas, only a nominal section of people have a privilege of access laptops.
Ma'am, again screen sharing mode to stop ஆயிடுச்சு. We can see the video, see your video, but the screen sharing again stop ஆயிடுச்சு.
Okay, wait, ma'am. Now okay, ma'am?
Ma'am, now it's okay. Now it's okay.
Okay. Challenges. It's yeah. Digital literacy and no infrastructural support a significant proportion of the rural population continues to fall short of required internet bandwidth and knowledge to recognize device and digital technologies. Another major issues involve the absence of supporting infrastructure facilities such as a stable flow of electricity and unavailability of high speed internet. Next one, access to proper device and the cost of data for rising use of content consumption. While talking about the digital learning, it is important to observe the accessibility of accurate device for each students to avail digital content. In rural areas, only a nominal section of people have a profile of laptops and computers. Even students with access to desktop and laptops cannot avail the internet and the cost of incurred in procedure. Apart from that, the phone screen available to them are not favorable enough for long learning hours. Next, inadequate skills. The inadequately the skill among of the teacher of rural areas to operate digital platform is another key factor affecting the advancement of digital education. As the teacher lack of necessary training to use digital platform, they are adopt their educational method. Online education, next one, online education does not cover a lot of certification courses The e-learning courses do not cover lots of certification courses that are recognized by colleges and university across India or abroad. Next, not all are tech survey. Even though online education courses are available in the wide range of platform for learners to choose from a basic knowledge of how to operate those devices is imperative to benefit from the courses. Therefore, before online education could be implemented, learners and educators need to be educated about the ins and outs of the technology to facilitate the smooth learning curves. Next, lack of awareness. Awareness plays a key role of education, online education. In a large part of the population is not aware of the amazing benefits. Then I conclude, online education involves the use of digital tools for teaching and learning. It makes use of technological tools to enable learners studying anytime and anywhere. It involves the training, delivery of knowledge, and motivates students to interact with each other, as well as exchange and respect different points of view. It is easiest communication and improves the relationship that sustain learning. So ICT improves great opportunity for education system in developing countries to improve their teaching and learning process. Thank you.
Presentation. Participants, you are requested to put forward your queries. You could hand raise to clarify your doubts. You will be unmuted. Participants, if you have any queries, you could hand raise, you will be unmuted.
Ma'am? Ma'am, am I audible? Ma'am, you have mentioned so many challenges in your presentation. What is the biggest challenge for the student in online learning?
Definitely
Connectivity.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, could you comment on that, the future of online education in India?
Ma'am, it's good for in one way it is good, but the regular class is better than online class. In my experience, regular class is good.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
We would like to invite the next presenter, Dr. B. Kyle Willy, Assistant Professor, Kamaraj College of Engineering and Technology, Vellakulam, to present the paper on challenges and remedies in online education in rural India.
Yes, good morning, ma'am. Thank you. I'm going to share the screen of mine. One minute, ma'am. Is my screen is visible to you?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay. Shall I start presenting now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I feel really, I'm in a hometown because now I meet all my friends, and then because I worked there for really 3 years, it was the best experience that I had. That was the foundation I had in my career. I feel I am indebted to the secretary, principal, vice principals, and all my friends and colleagues, especially Shanti ma'am and Femina ma'am, Swapna ma'am. I remember all those people whenever I meet through online forum or offline. Thank you so much for the wonderful opportunity provided. Now I start my presentation with this introduction. I'm Dr. B. Kyle Willy from Kamaraj College of Engineering and Technology. I have chosen a topic, challenges and remedies in online education in rural India. Yes, I always say this is the need of the hour. I hope everyone will accept this one. During the pandemic time, we have to convert from conventional mode of taking class into a online mode. Really, all the teachers will accept my saying that it is the best experience every teacher has. I also had a very good experience. Now I am also day by day having the best experience. I'm going to share whatever the experience I had so far. Here, no, these are the things I have used in order to take my class effectively. First one, I have chosen some videos from YouTube, and then back I have used, and then IELTS, TOEFL, and then I have used some of the materials from British Council. That is the game I have conducted to my students. That is what is it? That yes, ma'am.
The slide
ma'am.
on, you could slideshow
Slide
presentation.
slideshow. Okay, ma'am. Wait a minute, I'll check it, ma'am. Wait. Let me check it.
Ma'am, you can press F5.
F5, I have pressed it, ma'am. Is it okay now?
No, ma'am, still we are seeing only your PP presentation. We are not able to see your slideshow.
Slideshow is not visible. I don't know how to do it. Here I am having your sharing screen. I am having here.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am,
Just
no.
you move the slide. Just you continue, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Okay, here now continue with the same thing. That is this one. I've used materials from British Council, and then I have presented my classroom lectures through Prezi, and then I've used ZipGrade for assessment, maybe for pre-assessment and post-assessment. We can make use of the app ZipGrade. It was a wonderful one. I had a very good experience also. Then I move on to the next slide. Then we have used in our college, we have used Teams platform for entering attendance. And then for taking class also, we have used Teams platform where we had faced so many struggles. First one is channel creation. That was the best. That was the first and foremost problem we encountered. But that was rectified with the help of the technical team in our college. And then taking attendance is the biggest issue every teacher faces. I also face the same thing. Even my colleagues also face the same thing. Teachers who are sitting before me also, I think you are also facing the same thing, because while you are taking attendance, students are not answering, or they cannot unmute the mic due to network issue. These are all things happening, but one solution can be given for that. We can ask them to report to the class in the chat box at the end of the class hour. That will be the one of the solutions we can say. Apart from that, self-study hour can be allotted. If the connectivity is lost, we can allot self-study hour whereby we can send materials. I usually have self-study materials in a draft in my mail. Whenever a connectivity is lost, I send a material to the students whereby student cannot miss my class. So this is the one of the solutions for connectivity issue. I did the same thing. And the next one, sharing video content. Now also I'm a third presenter. Still now there are some problem in sharing content, or these are things we are facing. And the next one, meeting option. Meeting option is the one of the things we have to use in order to regulate the class. In meeting option, some students may be mischievous. They they remove one student from a particular class. That can be avoided by making use of the option, meeting option, where you can restrict the usage of mic or presentation mode for the students. If you allow them, they will make use of it. And then no downloading recorded videos also happening in Teams platform. I move on to the next slide. Then I am going to talk about assessment. Conducting exam is the biggest issue all the teachers are facing nowadays through online mode, because offline mode, we were familiar with offline mode. Immediately switching over to online mode is very difficult. We faced so many difficulties in online mode. That is why we installed, or we move on to one app, that is Hire Me. By using that Hire Me app, we have conducted exams for all the 4 years students, where also we faced login issue, network issue, especially in image proctoring, because in image proctoring, student may be looking at the screen and then they may be writing the exam. But what happens there? Some people may say that some teachers say that no, some teachers are not familiar that whether they are copying or they are moving, and then some students are not aware that they should not allow any people behind them. So these are the issues we faced in image proctoring. And then no, maximum usage of manpower is also happening in online mode of taking classes. We also used so much of manpower in order to prepare lessons, materials, and then even for conducting exams, we faced we have allotted so many staff members for conducting exams. So these are the problems we have encountered in assessment. And then after conducting exams, students are asked to submit papers, where also students are saying we don't have a very good net band, or my data usage is over, so I couldn't upload the paper. They are saying like that. So these are the problems we encountered in assessment. So this is what I want to say here. From conducting class up to assessment, we have so many hurdles, but teachers understand the responsibility of them, and then they made online class as a successful one. Thank you so much for the opportunity provided.
It was a very nice presentation. And I'm so happy that you have listed some teaching devices that you have applied in your online teaching. And one of the devices that you have listed, it is a chip grade. What are the criteria available to assess the student? How it is useful for the students?
Yes, if you make use of zip grade, it is useful only in the mobile phone. If you have uploaded that zip grade in your mobile phone, it's an app. If you upload that in your mobile phone, you can conduct pre-assessment and post-assessment for the students. Mark will be generated automatically, and then a grade system is also available in zip grade. Finally, overall class percentage can also be downloaded from zip grade. This is the experience I had. This is one of the ICT tools also. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Overall, the presentation was very nice. We are so happy to see you back.
Yes, thank you so much.
Participants.
Thank you so much, Samina ma'am, everybody. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Participants are requested to hand raise if you have any queries. Participants are requested to put forward their queries.
Hello, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
I have a query
Yes,
about zip grade. Tell me about that.
Yes,
will you please explain? Yeah, thank you.
Do you want me to explain it again, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It is a tool available in online, ma'am. It's an app. You can download that app from Play Store. You can keep it in your mobile phone. you can take a printout. Score sheet can be taken as a printout. Score sheet is available there. In ZipGrade, you can upload your multiple choice question. After uploading your multiple choice question, there is a score sheet for you. In that score sheet, scanning option is available. After students' performance, you can scan the score sheet. After scanning it, the result will be published in your mobile itself. Yeah, that means that in your ZipGrade app itself, immediately you can see the score of a particular student.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Fine. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
The next presenter is Ms. K. Lalitambihai, Assistant Professor from Sri Kalishwari College, Sivhasi, to present the paper on impact of COVID-19 on education in India.
திணறிக்கிட்டு இருந்தேனே பார்த்துட்டீங்களா? Morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
No, I am K. Lalitambihai, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics. Today's my topic is impact of COVID-19 on education in India. So now I categorize my presentation into these headings. Now, first one is introduction. The impact of pandemic 19 is observed in every sector around the world. The education plays a vital role in all of our lives and paves the way for all of us to reach.
We couldn't see your screen. We couldn't see your screen, ma'am. Is it not visible?
Sharing, ma'am?
Ah, yes, ma'am.
It is in sharing, ma'am. Sharing இருக்கு.
PPT வந்தது சார். இவங்க ஏதோ இருந்தது சார். மேம் இவங்க ஏதோ பிரசன்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்களா?
Ma'am, is it visible, ma'am?
Yeah, now it's visible, ma'am. Ma'am, you can now. Okay, thanks.
Okay, ma'am. So first, let us see the introduction. The impact of pandemic COVID-19 is observed in every sector around the world. Education plays a vital role in all of our lives and paves the way of all of us to reach our highest potential. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic brought a dynamic shift in the world education system. The imposition of lockdown led to the shutdown of the physical classrooms, and thus online education became the new norm. Now, although online learning has managed to keep the education alive in these dry times, it cannot completely replace it. Now, both online and offline education have their own distinct set of advantages and disadvantages. Now, let's discuss about the importance of education. Now, various features of education which outline the importance of education in human life is safety against crime, women empowerment, removing poverty, preventing war and tourism, maintaining law and order. So without education, a man cannot be a human being. So next one is impact of COVID-19 on education. As the world becomes increasingly interconnected, so do the risk we face. The COVID-19 pandemic has not stopped at national boundaries. It has affected people regardless of nationality, level of education, income, or gender. The lockdowns in response to COVID-19 have interrupted conventional schooling. Next one is, again, these from disadvantaged backgrounds often remain shut down when their schools shut down. Now, this crisis has exposed the many inadequacies and inequalities in our education systems, from access to the broadband and computers needed for online education and the supportive environments needed to focus on learning, up to the misalignment between resources and needs. Now, next one is impact of COVID-19 in education of our country, India. Now, it has enforced countrywide lockdown, creating very bad effect on the students' life. Now, around 32 crore learners stopped to move from schools and colleges, and all educational activities halted in India.
Now, for our country, India, online schooling is a near impossible step because 67% of the population that lives in rural areas and only half has access to internet. Now again, in rural areas, students have limited or no internet access, and numerous students may not be able to afford computer, laptop, or smart mobiles in their homes. Online schooling has created a digital split among students. The lockdown has led to extreme distress for students in India that come from an economically deprived background. Now let us see some positive impact. So online classes provide the distinct advantage of local flexibility, location flexibility, to flexible instructional method of teaching, wherein students can easily gain access to learning materials in the comfort of their homes. Now, online classes enable the teachers to reach out to their students more efficiently and effectively through chat groups, video meetings, voting, document sharing, audios, animations, virtual whiteboards, virtual conference classrooms, etc. So during this pandemic time. Now again, in response to this significant demand, many online learning platforms are offering free access to their services. So our Indian company Byju's, it becomes a national level, highly valued educational company during this pandemic period. Then now let us see the negative impacts. So I categorize the negative impacts into 8 points. So first one is passive learning by students. The sudden shift to online learning without planning, especially in our country, India, where the backbone for an online learning was not ready and the curriculum was not designed for such a format, has created the risk of most of our students becoming passive learners, and they seem to be losing interest due to low levels of attention span. Now, next one is unprepared teachers for online education. Online learning is a special kind of methodology, and not all teachers are good at it, or at least not all of them were ready for this sudden transition from face-to-face learning to online learning. Thus, most of the teachers are just conducting lectures on video platforms, which may not be real online learning in the absence of a dedicated online platform. Now, in such a situation, learning outcomes may not be achieved, and it can be only resulting in engaging the students. Now, next one is insufficiency of practical skills in science and technology. So while the move to online teaching has been difficult for most in higher education, it has been especially challenging for courses requiring practical hands-on learning. So online education is purely theoretical and takes place entirely online. Subjects like chemistry, physics, biology, technology, and sports require students to be physically present and conduct live experiments or actively participate in the activity. So practical classes through online education do not allow teachers to monitor the responses and behavior of their students and accordingly address them as and when required. The next one is inadequate cognitive skills. In the later years of life, a lack of cognitive skills, poor concentration, the inability to focus and memory loss is a common problem that accompanies us. So cognitive skills can be improved with training. Weak cognitive skills can be strengthened and normal cognitive skills can be enhanced to increase ease and performance in learning. So cognitive learning can be described as learning through experience. So in online environment, it comes down to the instructor teaching only the course to engage every student and encourage those who are not actively participated in learning sessions. So getting students to collaborate with each other and work on group projects in an online environment is a difficult task. Then next one is poor time management. Then students who attend online classes are faced with a big challenge of time management. Online learners are typically distracted by a multitude of tasks and they lack a proper schedule. Since online classes provide the advantage of self-paced learning, students may not have a proper schedule and may succumb to the habit of procrastination. So moreover, students are required to stay logged into their online classes for an extended period of time, which may lead the students suffering the web of interactions or checking their social media pages. So next one is the technical issues faced during the online classes. So online classes are always challenged by technical issues. Access to proper electronic equipment such as webcams, microphones, headphones, and computers along with proper internet connection is mandatory requirement for online classes. So additionally, technical issues such as slow internet connection or lack of availability of proper technical infrastructure may interfere with the seamless learning. So students may face difficulty in attending live lectures or downloading videos on online notes. The next one is psychological impact. Now, lack of social and peer interaction is causing a huge psychological impact. Now, students have less opportunity to express themselves, whereas they store everything in their mind. The concentration levels of students dropped in online learning as the eye measures yells only on the screen. So this in response made it difficult for most students to keep with the teachings. The pressure to concentrate and produce the required results has resulted in great amount of stress. The mental state of the students was highly affected. The next one is low impact of value education. So individuals in a society should be systematically trained on value education so that they can appreciate values like love, respect, tolerance, and honesty. The importance of peace education in our society determines the brotherhood in the nation. So institutes are the building blocks of a peaceful and progressive society. So students are the future of India, and this future of our country depends greatly upon the values imparted to them during their student life. The moral values pave the path for all their decisions in life, as without these values, students cannot have any guidance and their life may seem directionless. So it is the responsibility of the institutions to provide this moral education to the students to mold them into the person that we want them to be. So online learning limits the impartment of value education to the students. Now, conclusion. The outbreak of COVID-19 has taught us that change is inevitable. It has worked as a catalyst for the educational institutions to grow and adapt for platforms with the technologies which have not been used before. The education sector has been fighting to survey the crisis with a different approach and digitalizing the challenges to wash away the threat of pandemic. So thank you.
It was a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
We request the next presenter to be ready. Participants, if you have any questions, you could put forward.
We request the participants, if you have any questions, please.
We request Dr. Sendil Kumar, Head, Department of BCom CS, to present a paper on rural students' attitude towards online class.
Good morning to everyone. Madam Maradali is audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Before starting my section, first of all, I express my sincere thanks to the organizing committee to given a golden opportunity to me to present the topic on rural students' attitude towards online classes. Presented by myself with my colleagues, Mrs. Jasmine Bastina and Mrs. Surya, madam. Madam, whether the screen is visible, madam?
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible. Please kindly keep your video on.
COVID-19 and work from the home is the mantra today. Everybody knows that the COVID-19 affect the entire industry, any manufacturing industries, any service sectors, and any education sectors, etc. The COVID-19 play a significant role in a negative manners in all the industries, but it is worstly affected in the education industries. Due to COVID-19, the education sector is the only sector affected worstly. The sudden close of the regular classes, that is face-to-face contact, due to COVID-19 is not possible since March 2020. That compelled the students as well as the staff members to go for the alternative choices. The alternative choice is the only way you go for the online education. That is not only the pushing factors to go for online education, but also it pulled them, each and everyone, not only to the city students, but also to the rural students must go for the online education. The sudden changes to the regular classes to the online classes is not an easy job. It involves so many problems because in the previous classrooms, the students contact the teachers personally and ask the doubt. Likewise, the faculty members monitor the students' psychological behavior, etc. We can handle the classes very properly. But this chances is not possible in the online classes. But due to COVID-19, to maintain the social distance, we compel them to go for the online educations. These articles highlight about how the COVID-19 affect our education system and the student attitude towards online educations. The digital education, the digital revolution impact give a strong support to our education systems. The online education systems helps them, the students access so many e-content materials. Before that, the students can read only the textbook matters. When we go for the online education, we are giving the more chances to the students to learn about so many materials. He can access any materials through Google site or any other web page. We can access so many materials. Likewise, the students can also view some other videos related to their subject matter. But only one thing is that the students as well the faculty members not know how to assess that problem or how to assess the resources. That is the main biggest problem faced by the students in the earlier March 20. At the time, initial stage, we are going to the online education, the faculty members and the students are not knowing about anything, knowing about online educations. They are not know about what is meant by Google Classroom, and they are not know about what is Google Meet and what is known about Zoom. But after 2021, they are ready to accept the online education. These articles highlight both the aspects during the 2020 as well as the 2020 and 21 afterwards. So in the initial stages, both the faculty members as well as the students are facing many problems in online education, like the problems like assessing the course material, because in the previous classes we are having about a textbook, but it is not possible to supply the textbook to the students through online classes, and the direct interaction between the staff and students are not possible in the online classes. It increases the stress levels among the students. The objectives of these studies are, first you have to find out the positive factors towards the online classes. First objective is to find out the positive factors towards the online classes and the problems faced by the students in the online educations, the students' expectations in the online education. Based on that, I like to give some suggestions. So my research is based on the primary data. I have collected the primary data using the Google form from the higher study students. The secondary data also used for the studies. Out of 250 respondents were selected for my studies by using the convenient sampling method. So some of the results are displayed in my presentation. The first one is the case set used, that is the media they have used for that attending the online classes. The student can access the online classes through mobile phone or laptop or any other accessories like any other accessories. Among that, majority of the respondents are attending the online classes through the mobile phones. The next, I have to analyzing about which factors inspiring the students to go for online education. The students are very much interested to attend the online classes because they have to identify the new sources of access materials. After going for the online education, he gets so many materials from the websites. And also they are also having about some idea about the online platform education. So they access so many materials from the internet. This is the very inspiring factors to go, inspiring to the students to go for the online education. The expectation, the students also expect some things in the online education. The important expectations of the students in the online education is they need for the multimedia presentations. The oral presentation by the staff members, even the PPT presentation by the faculty members are not accepted by the students. They need something extra, or they need some presentations which are totally new to them. And also they expect interactive sections. Instead of teaching the syllabus, the staff members are also asked some doubt, ask some queries or questions during the class itself, like regular classes. This may be given in the online classes. The online classes may be a successful one. Next, I collected about the problems faced by the students during the online classes. We are all know that we are studying about rural students' problems. Majority of the students are facing the problems of the network problems. So all the network problems create so many problems to the students. And next one is called as the unpleasant environment. The rural students are not getting the support from the parents. They are not having a separate room for their education. In their family, in their home itself, they have to attend the classes. At the time, the environmental surrounding to them is not helping them to listen the classes. This is the main problem faced by the students. So the main problems are, one is called as network problem and the unpleasant environment. So based on that, my suggestion is, we are compelled to follow online education. There is no other choices to go for that. At the time, the student as well as the faculty member must know about the latest technology. So whenever we study about the latest technology, it helps them not only to me, but also to the students to give the education in a better manner. And instead of taking the online classes in a regular like PPT presentation, we have to use multimedia technology. And most of the time, the staff members are concentration in the online education for rushing up the syllabus. They are not giving any practical explanation to their subject. At the time of taking the subject, they must give some practical explanations and making them in interactive manners, like asking the question, and also you have to clarify the doubts of the students. It must be help the students. And before starting the online classes, the staff members must be review the classes. Apart from that, the parents need for the online educations, because most of the students' family backgrounds not supporting them. If they are attending the online classes, the family members are watching TV or they are doing some work, it disturbs the students. This is the main problem faced by the students in the rural educations, in the online education. This must be improved. Our online education must be a best one. So based on that, my conclusion is, the online education is not only need to the student, but also the staff members. The success is always depends upon the faculty members. The faculty members must improve their ICT, and the support from the family members from the student sides help the online education in a successful manner. Do or die. Likewise, we must compel to the go for the online educations. The success of the online education is always depends upon the faculty members. The faculty members give the importance and the problems involved in the online education to the students in a manner, and making the online education a successful one. Thank you, madam.
Sir, it was a very nice presentation. Actually, we enjoyed your session. I mean, your
Thank you, madam.
One question to you, sir. Sir,
Okay, madam.
Your presentation, you mentioned that students are expecting more from the teachers apart from paper presentation, even connecting the students through Google Form. So can you please suggest some of the interesting devices that can be used by the teachers to make the students connected throughout the session lively, to make the students, so what are the suggestions can you give? Any kind of interesting activity
apart from the PowerPoint presentation, we have to use some YouTube videos, like online quiz. Some online devices are available, madam. We have to use it in a proper manner.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
We request the next presenter to be ready. We would like to invite Dr. R. Deepa, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, to present her paper on COVID-19 impact on education of rural India.
So humble request to all the participants, when you are coming for presentation, please switch on your videos.
Dr. Deepa ma'am, you can start your presentation. Unmute yourself and you can start your presentation.
Sorry for the inconvenience. The next presenter are requested to present Dr. V. Muniyappan, Assistant Professor, Sri Kalishwari College, to present his topic on impact of Indian education system during the COVID-19 pandemic period.
Good morning, madam.
Good evening.
Madam, this is Dr. Murugan from Department of Botany. Instead of Dr. Muniyappan, sir, I have presented.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Murugan sir, are you ready? You can start your presentation.
Yes, madam. My PPT is visible to all.
No, sir. No, it's not visible, sir.
Is it okay, ma'am?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Kindly keep your video on, sir.
Good morning to all. Before go for my presentation, I'm thankful to our management and our respected principal and our department HOD and my colleagues. Today my topic is we are focused on the topic of impact of Indian education system during the COVID-19 in the pandemic period. Introduction of this study. Indian government initially has announced the lockdown and the closure of educational institutions such as schools, colleges, research institutions, and other relevant educational sectors on the date of March 25th, 2020, for against the compact to go for a compact against COVID-19. In this result, we have collected the information from UNESCO. UNESCO said that 63 million teachers are affected in around the world. It amongst coming to 165 countries. Almost out of 202 countries, 80% of the countries are affected. The main sectors of teaching faculties. And another information, 1.3 billion learners, 13 crore learners in around the world completely lack of their knowledge to acquire the education system. Not only in the world, in the Indian education system, almost 320 million learners are also affected alone. It includes rural, urban, all along with all the education sectors. This is effectively says that all the educational activities like examinations, school admissions, entrance tests, competitive exams, and others, these are all combined together. This is also affected very easily when compared to the education. Whereas the closure of schools are hugely affecting the learning across the country. Our objectives to analyze the impact of COVID-19 on Indian education system, and we have now mainly focused on schools levels. The Indian education system, particularly in Tamil Nadu, facing the impact of COVID-19 and highlighting the role played by the students through online, offline education. And the positive impact helpful to the students in the scenario of offline and online education. To reduce the negative impact of COVID-19 and how to convert into positive impact for the education sector on the students for their smooth education. These are all we are going to focus in this study. After the lockdown announced by the government, most of the institutions suddenly go for taken their hand to how to handle the classes and how to interact the students, then how to share the study materials, the study related information. They immediately touching with the following already available online tools, likewise Zoom Meet, Google Meet, Facebook, YouTube, Telegram, Skype, Google Classroom, WhatsApp, Twitter, etc. The teaching techniques and assessment methodologies were quite affected, which resulted to shift the online education from a physical class teaching. Is it impossible? The physical education not equal to for online education. For the better understanding and better pursuing knowledge, and especially in our side, we are conducting so many live practicals and repeated practicals. And in the higher level, students also affected for their project work. This is impossible to conduct online classes if even though no way from escape from the lockdown period. Unfortunately, what is the main impact easily affected? The low income private and government school students are totally insufficient to adapt during the shutdown period of this COVID. Then if even though such a kind of students, they were well settled and a partially contact with the acquiring of knowledge and touch with the teaching, they were go for additional authentic government websites such as Swine Prabha and Batsala, Dix Portal and Batsala, and other also the available e-learning hubs provided by the NCRT. Along with certain government sectors, they have provided certain e-learning apps in the free concerns. That is also most helpful for the low income private government school students to acquire the knowledge. We come to the resultant discussion about this impact of COVID-19 for the school students' education. Before lockdown in India, no one estimated that the face of the Indian educational schools and institutions would change there so drastically. So immediate changing is very, very difficult to adaptation from offline to online is very, very difficult one. If in those schools that never allowed the students to carry the electron kit, attend in such as learning centers for online classes. So this is very difficult to facing to develop their knowledge and to easily adopt and access the electronic devices of the already told the some of the medias. But the students are getting familiar to this new normal, which is definitely more challenging for the teachers also to handling with the situation. According to the key indicators of the household social consumption on education in India report, based on in the 17-18 NSSO, fewer than 15% of rural Indian households have internet access to it. So this is the problem to easily and immediate adaptation in a drastic manner. This information is collected from the NSS report. In a rural area, before lockdown, the operating of computer percentage is, we are here we are concentrate on accosted, I mean, our nearby states. Andhra Pradesh, before lockdown, 1.5% usage of computer. But after lockdown, 10.4% internet access will be utilized. Karnataka, 2.0%, 2% only. But in the pandemic period, 8.3%. In Kerala, already it's a literally good state in India level. So already they have and slight establishment in the computer knowledge, 20%. Now the association period, I mean the pandemic period, they have to move on to a double in their ratio percentage of using. In Tamil Nadu, 11.6 for the computer percentage is accessed. After the lockdown, it will be slightly increased. The increment is, the improvement is only for 3%. And Telangana, this in 1.6 in the initial level, and now the pandemic period, it will be raised up to 10%. So this is the pathetic situation for that using of internet in India level and as well as in mainly focus on Tamil Nadu level.
Yes, sir.
This one.
Sir, it's almost time, so try to conclude as quickly as possible, sir.
Okay, madam. Okay, madam. Okay. The Indian government education system have explored the possibility of open learning by adopting different digital technologies. So I come to the conclusion slightly and immediately increase the internet access ratio in Tamil Nadu as well as in India level by the side of the private sectors and also side by side the government also concentrate on that particular internet accessing points. This is our main focus. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Becket the corona by vaccination and welcome the valuable students by education. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The participants are requested to put forward your queries. You are requested to hand raise if you have any queries. You could be unmuted. We invite the next presenter. We invite Dr. R. Deepa, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, to present her paper on COVID-19 impact in education of rural India.
Before that, it is a gentle announcement to all the participants. We request the participants to complete their presentation in 5 minutes.
Good morning to all.
Good morning.
Can you hear my voice, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning to all. First of all, I thank management and the principal sir and the organizing committee to give opportunities to present this paper. Now I am going to talk about the topic COVID-19 impact in education of rural India. First, what is mean by why education is important? And Albert Einstein, the scientist, to tell education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. What are the challenges faced in education in rural area? These are the challenges: good teachers and lack of discipline in children. Lack of discipline means, for example, it is really too difficult to handle children at school and teach them the importance of disciplines in rural area students. And midday meal budget. They have to keep a budget for providing a one-time meal to encourage children to come to school and give them nutrition. And government schools and the lack of schools and bad infrastructure. These are the challenges faced in rural area schools. The National Education Policy 2020 emphasizes the digital learning as an alternative tool to the conventional classroom model, but implementing in rural area will face some challenges. For example, financial issues, lack of guidance and lack of infrastructure and the faculty and the gender inequality. And in COVID-19, only 80% rural children need attend online classes and 37% not studying at all. And more than 1 billion children are at risk of falling behind due to the school closures at the spread of COVID-19. And around 188 countries, many of them are exploring alternative ways to provide continuous education to students for using these technologies such as internet, TV, and the radio. In rural area, children only use the technology for television. The television has the potential to reach most of the students. For example, 62% students globally. Only 16% of school children would be reached by radio-based learning worldwide. In globally, 3 out of 4 students who cannot be reached by the remote learning policies, it come from rural areas or belong to the poorest households. And e-learning in rural areas, nowadays this is the pandemic situation. E-learning is known as the online learning or web-based training, and teachers need to utilize inexpensive national electronic mediums like television or teaching different courses. And by using radio devices, teachers can develop cost-effective audio courses which would aid in empowering education for rural students during lockdown period. And how COVID-19 is affected on education. What are the impacts? First, lost schooling and lost learning. Children don't have an opportunity to learn, and the children forget what they have learned. And next one is the positive impact of COVID-19 on education. These are the positive impact. First one is the impact on students. How students benefit. For example, in this lockdown period, generally students are mostly used to mobile phone for time pass, chatting, and playing games, watching movies, and change their way of thinking and attitude in this pandemic period. Currently, students are using mobile and technologies mostly to learn new things like lectures related to use Zoom app and Google Meet and Google Classroom. Also, college students utilize the education period and completed online diploma courses on software and provide them job opportunities in future in this pandemic period. This is the positive impact on students. This is the biggest change in students. And impact on teachers. Hence, during pandemic situation, they learn new methods of teaching like videos, video conferencing, online lectures, and the Zoom meeting, other meeting applications. These are the best medium of teaching. And the teachers also improve and develop their teaching skill and upgrade themselves by attending webinar on COVID-19 pandemic period. And rise of blended learning methods. The pandemic forced educators across schools and colleges and universities to adopt a blended mode of learning. And this is an opportunity for curriculum designers to improve upon the quality of the learning material. These are the positive impact of COVID-19 on education, and negative impacts of COVID-19 on education. The sluggish cross-border movement of students means, for example, some universities in many countries, Australia, UK, New Zealand, and Canada, are highly dependent on movement of students from China and India. But many parents will avoid sending students abroad for higher education due to high risk from the pandemic situation. And passive learning by students. The students shift to online learning without any planning, especially in countries like India, where the backbone for online learning was not ready and the curriculum was not designed for such a format. These are the negative impacts of COVID-19 on education. And 85% of kids were engaged in some form of distance learning, and 75% engaged through mobile phones. 1 out of 7 rural kids were not engaged in distance learning, and the teacher-student interactions were sporadic, and remote instruction during COVID-19 was not cheap for parents. 79% of family said COVID-19 had a negative impact on their children's studies. And these are the ways to upgrade the education system and boost free education, establish schools, bring innovative teaching methods, and promote computer literacy. And conclusion, online classes have become an alternative to regular classes under the circumstance of present pandemic situation. Most of the students belong to farmers' families. So instead of online classes, they need to work in fields, and less face-to-face interaction between teachers and students, network problem, new structure of classes, cause irritation, frustration. These are the dramatic decrease in the presence of students in online classroom was reported. Some tools like social presence in the online course asking students personal information, encouraging interaction exchange between students, supporting video communication may help to increase their interest and approach in virtual classes. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your presentation. Participants, you are requested to clarify your doubts. If you have any questions, you could hand raise. The next presenter is Mr. T. Manoj Kumar. You would like to invite Mr. T. Manoj.
Thank you, ma'am.
We would like to invite Mr. T. Manoj Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce CA, Sri Kaleshwari College, to present his paper on effect of online education on teaching and learning systems in Sivakasi during COVID-19.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, is my screen is visible to all?
Yes, sir, it's visible. You could present.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Good morning. Have a nice day to all participants. And first, I thank our management and my colleagues at IPAC for conducting this wonderful session. Okay, first, my topic is the effect of online education on teaching and learning system in Sivakasi during COVID-19. Yeah, novel corona, which means COVID-19 was jostle our day-to-day routine life. Suddenly, one fine morning, our government will announce that, which means March 16, 2020, a complete lockdown for all educational institutions in India. So, but we move to wear our ID card and shoes to make a continuous education with the support of online as a tool to equip ourselves and to equip our students community to develop their knowledge in a designed curriculum. So this is the objective of our study, to measure the teachers and learners outcome towards online teaching. And we gave some recommendations, going to do some recommendations. It is in process. So after the conclusion of my simple survey, I took some measure to convey this to government or some policy makers in India. So this is some small objective of my study. So first, I gave this information, conduct this survey under the three main category, which means point number A, preliminary information, and the point number B, method of teaching and setting up online class at home, and the last one is level of comfort. These three major headings to be discussed to the four persons. The four persons who are all means school students and school staff members, and the next one is college students and college staff members. These three factors or these three major headings to be prepared by the way of questionnaire with the help of Google Forms and circulate to those school students and staff, and college students and college staff members inside of the Sivakasi only. This is my scope of the study. My study is only within the area of Sivakasi only. So these are the results. First one is in the point in the point of school students view, these three major headings results is projected in the screen. So the first one is preliminary information, which is only I cover the standard 12th standard students only. I am gather the information only from the 12th students in the school side. And the next one is method of teaching. In the method of teaching, they gave their own result. Commonly 70% yeah, okay. Commonly 70% of the students will like the recorded content inside of the Sivagasi only. I said that, and the remaining 30% of students will like the live session of the teachers, and most of the 68% of the students prefer the WhatsApp because it is easily one to convey anything. It means plus or minus. We can easily pass it to through the WhatsApp. And the 89% of the students already have their required device, which means the smartphones or government gave the laptop, so it will easy to access them. And the 76% of the students will said that we have the network connectivity issue. They have the poor network connectivity. So these are all the method of teaching. And the third factor is the level of comfort in online class. In the 12th standard students point of view, 13% of the students were not getting enough time to refresh in between of the classes. And the next one is 80% have the physical and mental stress. These are one problem. On nearly half of the students, which means 48.7%, were taught one subject per day, and 46.9% of the students teach two to three subjects per day. And the fourth one is 92.1% of the students believed that direct student teacher interaction is essential, because in the online class they will not eagerly attend. In the method of teaching, maximum 70% of the students they like the recorded content only, but in this side 92% they believe that the live session is so benefit for them. And the next one is in the point of view of teachers from learners education. Yeah, these are the primary information. All the UG and PG students are covered inside of the Sivagasi only, and 95% had the form of online class during the lockdown period. Remaining 5 of them, which means they are not have the online class, but majorly 95% have their online classes. And the next one is method of teaching.
Excuse me, sir.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Sir, you're almost running out of time. Try to continue as soon as possible.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Okay. These are the major categories. These are all my findings and suggestions. Majorly, all the students are like the online class only. The valuation and the assignment, blah blah, whatever it is, they like the online class only. But in the other hand, some of the students, which means the below the average students, need some new environment. They live in this environment, they like this environment, which means online environment. Environment will always play a major role in this situation. So below the average students mostly like this online study, but I'm not recommend to anyone. But this was my findings, major findings. Yeah, thank you.
Is there any question from the participants? Okay, thank you. Now, I'm happy to invite Mrs. M. Archana Devi, Assistant Professor of English, to present her paper. Her research paper presentation is COVID-19 Impact in Education of Rural India.
Good afternoon to all. Ma'am, shall I share the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, it is visible, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am, thank you. Good afternoon to one and all present here. I'm happy to present my paper on COVID-19 impact in education of rural India. So here I have focused only on school education system in India, the rural education. So this is the picture. This shows that before pandemic period, what happened in our rural education, especially in India. So before entering the topic, I would like to give an introduction about what is education. So it gives a fundamental role in achieving human potential, developing a notable progress in the life of every individual. It helps not only to get knowledge in different fields, but also social and moral values gaining. So education system in our country, it gained development in the field of science and technology, agriculture, communication, medicine, etc. And it promotes a country to the highest position as a developed nation all over the world. So in our India, how is that rural education? So rural education, it covers both education in villages and urban areas. And it is of utmost important to concentrate in analyzing the level of education in rural India. So it could understand the importance of education and know that is the only way to get rid of poverty. So before pre-pandemic period, what are the problems the rural students faced? So for the first problem, we could say the lack of money. Lack of money, the parents couldn't make their children gain knowledge by providing private schools education. So they are depending on the government schools, and some villages, they don't have any schools. So they have to go to the another village to gain their knowledge. And owing to this, the parents usually don't send their daughters in school. So many dropout students are there in villages. And next problem is the language in the textbook. So many rural students, they speak only their native language, but they face the problems. Their text is in English language. So they couldn't understand, they couldn't read. So our education system had made interesting by providing their culture, their traditions, their values. It should be added in their education. So now what happened? The COVID-19 enters in the world. So what happened? There is a change. So this picture shows the impact of COVID-19 in rural education. So the coronavirus has altered our lives, our realities. It forced us to change for the better. So the biggest and most important impact has been on our younger generation. So it opened our eyes and makes us realize the need for major reformation in the education system. So here I have given a data from UNESCO. May 2020, the lockdowns are impacting over 75% of the world's student population. So what happened to this, especially in our India, there are 32 crores of students, they are affected, and the schools were closed, schools and colleges were closed. So in the impact of COVID-19, it spread over everywhere. Lack of connectivity and devices, it included in the rural students. So changes. So after COVID-19, there are some challenges faced by the rural students. So what are that things? First, they just lost their midday meal. So for food only, so many village students are going to school. So because of the COVID-19, the midday meal scheme has stopped because the schools were closed. And the number of challenges, here I have given enrollment and dropout of students, the number of teachers, infrastructural deficiencies, and technological barriers. So among these, I will give you only one thing, that is dropout of students. It plays an important role in the challenges. Some other urban cities, the school children, they are forced to learn by e-learning modes and supplemented some devices available. But in rural areas, they didn't have all these facilities. So they didn't gain knowledge. And it affects the rural students, not only the rural students, but also the teacher, especially the contractual teachers. So they don't have any guarantee for their future employment. So even they didn't have gain any salary for several months. So this is another challenge faced by the contractual teachers. So what are the solutions we'll give? So here, I'll just give you only the two solutions from our Tamil Nadu government. It's provide Kalvi Tolekachi TV and providing laptops. So these two pictures, it showed very clearly to you. And what happened to this? You can see that pictures in villages, some students, they use their laptops and the electronic device, phone, smartphone. So with these facilities, the rural students could update their knowledge and learn by watching the lesson videos. And it shows that COVID-19 has disrupted the education ecosystem. At this moment, it's an opportunity for transform. So these new ways of teaching and learning ensure that all students have access to the related tools and infrastructure. So thus, the coronavirus pandemic is teaching us how schooling is not equivalent to merely learning, but encompasses a social space, a social process to learn, to live, to think and act for oneself. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Questions are welcome. Questions are welcome. Is there any questions? Participants, you could feel free, you could ask your questions. We would like to invite the next presenter. The next presenter is Dr. M. Vahini, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics. Her research paper is Investigations of Academic Stress Faced by Students in Online Education.
Good morning to all. Nadal here. Ma'am, is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, just a minute, I will share my screen. Ma'am, whether my screen is available, visible or not, ma'am?
No, ma'am. Vagini ma'am, again try to share your screen, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Now it's visible, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
இருக்கலாம் மேம். அதுதான்
Good morning to all. One and all here. Myself, Dr. M. Vahini, Assistant Professor, Department of from Kalishwari College. Today, I want to present my work under the title of Investigations of Academic Stress Faced by Students in Online Educational. First of all, due to COVID-19, we are forced to practice online education because all over the world getting locked down. So we want to move our life from offline to online. So online learning is not a novel discovery. It is already exist one from 1980s. Nowadays, the effect of online educational in our educational system, we are moving from chalkboard to online system like that. whether it is the online system, whether it gives the benefits or problems to us. Both are present, because there is in nature there is no option for 100% efficiency. That wise we getting benefits and also the problems. So from benefits, comparatively online and offline system, theoretically what we are expecting this and what we are getting in experimental. The slide shows the reality versus expectation. So in first figure, we are trying to getting more outputs from our online system, but actually we getting in experimental section, actually we getting the regular life, WhatsApp, Facebook, like that, entertainments. That is the output from our online education. In the case of benefits, these are the list out the points. We can learn anywhere or anytime. It is centered for focus to only the student. It is flexible and we can achieve it anywhere at any different devices like microphone, laptops, and interact easily with the guest lecturer. And we can easily learn from the feedback from inductor or students, and also we can get the social interaction. These are some benefits from online education is also there. In case of problems, which are the maximum getting compared to the benefits, we are getting more problems in the online education. First of all, the situation adoption, whether the students are adapted to the current situation or not. It is the very task one. If they are adapted, the next problem is whether they have a system, that means they have an electronic device which is accessibility or not, because some software is accepted in some version, because in market so many versions are available, so we can't achieve whether the software is suitable for our device or not. That is the main target in our device using. Finally, we are getting device, we are getting network system. What gains? The students gets a lack of self-regulation. They are lost their wake up time and pressing time on many default and abnormal cases from the normal cases. For time self-regulation. Now we are getting internet in our online system. We are getting education from online system. But in the view screen, we getting enormous of entertainments are present, like YouTube's video, advertisement, shopping, this like this. So finally, the student adapted to the entertainments in the online education. So it is like a addiction, internet addiction. So now the student cannot survive with both positive and negative of the network. They lost their stability to withstand whether it is suitable or not suitable. So finally, they spend their more time to the entertainment process. Comparatively, educational system, they are not ready to spend their time to the watching guest lecturers. We are ready to spend our time to the lot of entertainments. So the time schedule is also reduced. After that, depends upon these reasons, they are getting stretch, workload, pressure, and continuous stress. So it is not possible to continue all over the day for using online education. So they are lost their confidence and yourself, whether the situation is acceptable or not, whether this work is done by myself or not. It is also question mark of our students. So finally, the stress is psychologically increases in our mind. If the teacher can teach more than efficiency, more than 100% efficiency, but the reaches of the student getting results from colleagues only more important, because comparably student teacher communication is very low compared to the student interaction. So the students lacks in the friendship also, group discussion also. So they are losing their group discussion in offline classes. Finally, the exam fear, online or offline. If their mindset is online exam, they are free from move anywhere. But in the case of offline, they are not ready to accepting offline exams. So that is the exam fear is also there. Then finally, we can conclude that the physical activities of the students are also very low. There is physical activities means sports activities also very low level. So finally getting these points, the student will behave like a indifferent person in the world. In our society, that online educated student will become indifferent with comparably other students that like the offline students. So finally that result will become a discontinue of education. So these problems are arises due to the online education. It may be reduced by awareness of teachers, institutions, managements, and parents also give the supervision to the students. It is possible to avoid it. From online education, our expectation is we are as a guide role in the learn of online education, but actually we getting internet as the guide, we are the followers. That is the reality life. Finally, we conclude that these are the undercomes the academic stress, situation adoptions, a lack of self-regulation, lack of resilience, lack of stability, lack of confidence, internet addiction, extremum of entertainments, psychological stress, fear of offline exams, lack of awareness, and so on. We can list out the last things. So finally, the student gets burnout due to the academic stress. Output from the online education, it's so like the illusion, because it may be present, but when we are enter into the world, it is not present. That is the illusion of our online education. We can develop our skills and basic knowledges from the online education. It is possible, but we can't import the basic knowledge of the education to the student. It is not possible from online education. So the online education gives the academic stress to the students. Teachers can improve that more number of extreme options to rectify this one. We can fruitfully and educate the academic stress. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Participants, you are welcome to ask any queries. Virtually, you could raise your hands to ask queries.
So it was a very nice presentation, Vagini madam.
Thank you, ma'am.
You have listed many of the stress in academic stress that you have listed. Can you tell us whatever the stress would be? There would be some stress bursters, no? Can you please suggest at least one or two stress bursters from?
Sorry, ma'am, I can't answer your questions, ma'am.
Ma'am, kindly mute your video so that you can hear our voice.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, the question is, can you list out some of these stress busters?
Actually, you have listed many of the stress in online education.
Yes.
Please tell us some
Yes, ma'am.
busters.
You are meant relief, ma'am.
Ah, yes.
Not only the video lectures, we can give a varieties type of digital images, or when they are see that image, that is not known a lecture. It will become a entertainment. The educational will gives us the entertainment like a image or movie or animated pictures. Like we can achieve the improvement of the students.
It's okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
The next presenter is Ms. I. Sandhya, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science.
Ma'am, my voice is audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Kindly share your PPT.
Share my screen. Visible, ma'am?
Ma'am, kindly limit your presentations to 5 minutes. Ma'am, kindly note, limit your presentations to 5 minutes.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Good morning, all. My name is Sandhya, Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science, Sri Kalishwari College. I am glad to share my presentation with you. Today, I discuss about the topic on COVID-19 impact in education of rural India. Here, the synopsis contents are listed. Let us see one by one. Start a session with the abstract. COVID-19 first, what is rural India? Rural areas are also known as the countryside or a village in India. It has a very low population density. In rural areas, agriculture is a chief source of livelihood along with the fishing, cottage industries, etc. All the people lives in both rural and urban areas. COVID-19 has completely changed the life of all people in a different way. In India, economically, there is a critical situation in the pandemic crisis. The pandemic crisis not only affect on a human life and industries, but also on education. The education is greatly affected in rural areas. The students' knowledge level has been decreased. Next, see the introduction. Oprah Winfrey says, education is the key to unlocking the world, a passport to freedom. The pandemic crisis deadly affect the people lives both urban and rural areas. India represents the world's second largest education system, comprises a neural network, about 1.5 million schools. Pandemic crisis duration, schools and colleges were closed. The students are attending the class like online classrooms and recorded videos. Rural areas many students are struggling to obtain the gadget required for online classes. Through the Indian government supports the digital education e-learning system. Teachers and the students suffer to change the physical classroom to online class. In the next slide, how the students tackle the online classroom. Mode of education during COVID-19. All the government and private schools, colleges were conducted the semester examination process through online. Through the Government of India initiated a online digital learning platform for education to all. Overall, online classes access the tools like Google Meet, Classroom, WebEx to overcome this situation. Next, see the statistical report. ASER, Annual State of Education Report. According to ASER survey, 2/3 of rural students in India did not receive the learning materials or activities during this pandemic crisis. And in the way, 40% of students cannot recognize the instructions receiving from the institutions and schools. In this slide, rural areas reports in year-wise. Students enrollment year-wise in chart 2018, 2020 and 2021. The students enrollment are increased. The next slide is enrollment students with access to smartphones. In the rural areas, the students are access to smartphones in the pandemic crisis time. It is increased. But in the yes at all times, the students received only the instructions 27.0% and the yes sometimes 47.0, not accessible person is 26.1. Then next is the students taking tuition in the duration time in the pandemic crisis are increased 39.2 in the duration 2021. The next is this crucial challenges faced by the students of rural India. First, point out the critical digital literacy and infrastructure support. There are some hurdles enabling online education rural regions of India. In rural areas, teachers and students are accepting digital learning, but in the infrastructure facilities not developed in the part of online learning. Flow of electricity, lack of high-speed internet still is a major problem of rural areas. Next, to point out the limited availability of technology devices. A lot of people not have no access to personal laptops, computers, phones, not access to the learning arts. The next to point out the lack of familiarity with digital technology. This is data bags and their cost also being deterrent for the teachers, students for live classes. Next to point out the lack of familiarity with digital. Familiarity is shifting from traditional education methods to digital. One cannot happen overnight. Teacher as well as the students require proper training to make them with familiarity with digital technology so that they can be comfortable teaching and learning using them. Let us conclude this. Albert Einstein says education is not the learning of fact but the training of mind to think. However, so many hurdles faced by the rural students, but our government gives continuous support in digital technology learning. It will be affordable and accessible. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity. Thank you all.
The next presenter is Ms. K. Anjali. We invite Ms. K. Anjali, Department of PG Commerce, to present her paper on COVID-19 impact in education of rural India.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. Ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Your audience present.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to one and all present here. I am K. Anjali, second MCom. It's my great pleasure to present the paper here. My research paper topic is COVID-19 impact in education of rural India under the guidance of Dr. K. Sadish Kumar, Associate Professor of PG Commerce in our college. Introduction. Indian government has announced the lockdown and the closure of educational institutions as a logical solution to enforce social distancing within communities. The nationwide lockdown has had a tremendous impact on the education system of the country, especially for students from rural areas. Since the Indian education system is dominated by classroom study, the present scenario has made the functioning of the educational institution very difficult. Objectives. To study about the Indian education system is facing the impact of COVID-19 and highlighting the role played by teachers and students through online education. To analyze the positive impact helpful to students, parents and school teachers in the scenario of the online education. To suggest how to reduce the negative impact of COVID-19 on students for their smooth education. Methodology. Using secondary data, this data and information presented in the study are collected from various reports and activities published by national and international agencies on impact of COVID-19 pandemic. Information is also collected for various authentic websites. Some journals are also referred related to the impact of COVID-19 on educational systems are referred. Purpose of the study. All systems have strengths and weaknesses. Maximizing strengths and minimizing weaknesses in order not to miss the opportunities to move forward should be the goal. The main purpose of the study is to analyze the impact of COVID-19 on the Indian education system. It covers the impact.
You could share your findings, research findings. To conclude.
COVID-19 has impacted eventually the education sector of India, though it has created many challenges. Various opportunities are also evaluated. The Indian government and different stakeholders of education have explored the possibility of open and distance learning by adopting different digital technologies to cope up with the present crisis of COVID-19.
வெளியே வந்துருதா மேம் வெளியே எல்லாம் மினிமைஸ் தான் பண்ணுது இது லா வந்து யார் யார் எடுக்கிறா இப்ப கடைசியா கொடுத்ததுல செஷன் 1 செஷன் 2 தனித்தனியா போட்டுருக்காங்களா
Anjali, have you concluded?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your presentation, Anjali.
Thank you.
We invite Mrs. D. Renuga, Assistant Professor from Sri Adi Chandragiri Women's College, Kambam, to present her paper on COVID-19 impact on passions of teaching and learning.
Good afternoon to everybody present in this seminar. I am from Sri Adi Chandragiri Women's College. My title is COVID-19 Impact and Passion of Teaching and Learning Process in India. Ma'am, next slide, ma'am. Second slide, ma'am.
Wait, ma'am. We are sharing. 1 minute, wait.
Introduction. EdTech trends in 2020 to 21 are being revolutionized with strong focus on connectivity, virtuality, and student-centered learning. EdTech means technological implementations in the classrooms. EdTech goal of EdTech means to improve students' outcomes, enhance individualized education, and reduce the teachers' burden. Next slide, ma'am. Best practices for passion for teaching. Both teachers and students started that by using applications such as iMessage, WhatsApp, Telegram, and Facebook like. Then, apart from the engagement of communication between peer, mutually communication between teachers and students in more frequently. Next, ma'am. Next slide, ma'am. Online effective effects of COVID-19 on teaching learning process. Nowadays, online education, some more platforms are available in online education. Swayam, Impartus, NPP portal, like that. Next one, ma'am. Effects of COVID-19 on teaching learning process, use of apps. Different apps nowadays are used for online education. These apps are helpful for students and teachers to reach. Such type of apps are also used for meeting online teaching learning process. VoiceNap Messenger, Zoom, Google Meet, WebEx, Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, Teachmeet. Next, e-learning. E-learning. E-learning, use of different e-contents. We have now teachers prepared their PPT, PDF links like that to enrich students' outcomes. Next, ma'am. Next slide, ma'am. Next slide, ma'am. Ma'am, e-learning slide, ma'am. Oh, that's cool. Video வரல இன்னொரு மொபைல். ICT teaching and learning. ICT teaching tools, it includes simulation, modeling, CD-ROMs, teachers web publishing, word processing, spreadsheet, data logging, databases, email, smart boards, interactive whiteboards, and internet browsing. ICT. E-content development for teaching and learning. Next, last slide, ma'am. E-content, ma'am. E-content development is the heart of teaching learning process. Although content development plays a key role in e-learning, it is undoubtedly not an easy process. It requires expert knowledge in the subject area, patience in creating the necessary objects that make up quality and a high sense of creativity. Conclusion, ma'am. The recent pandemic created an opportunity for change in pedagogical approaches and introduction of virtual education in all levels of education. This would involve upgrading the service platform to enable it to meet the required volume of educational demands of students. Virtual education is the most preferred mode of education at this time of crisis due to outbreak of COVID-19. The post-COVID-19 education seems to be an education with widely accept of online or virtual education, which may perhaps be a parallel system of education. Thank you for your patience listening.
We invite Mr. G. Karapasamy, Department of PG Commerce, to present his paper on learners' perception towards online education during COVID-19 pandemic in Savahasi.
Ma'am, PPT visible, ma'am?
Yes, Pa, you can start.
Good morning to all of you. Now I am going to present my research paper on the title Learners' Preparation Towards Online Education During COVID-19 Pandemic in Savahasi. It is a combined paper with my research guide, Dr. M. Lakshmana Kumar, Assistant Professor, PG Department of Commerce, Sri Kalishwari College, Savahasi. Introduction. Education in rural India is a catalyst to improve the economic and social well-being in the nation. India has the world's second largest school system after the China. According to UNESCO, 63 million teachers were affected in 165 countries. A total of 1.3 billion learners around the world were not able to attend the regular classes, and approximately 320 million learners are affected in India alone. During this time, most of the institutions have shifted to online mode using the whiteboard, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, other online platforms. Statement of the problem. The COVID-19 pandemic has created a new crisis education system due to huge digital divide, which leads to a lot of learning in the short run, while simultaneously increase the chances of dropping out of the education. In the long run, there will be huge loss in human capital accumulation and economic development. Objective of the study: to contain the importance of online education during the phase of ongoing pandemic, to determine the preparation of learners towards online education during the lockdown. Methodology: this study is a quantitative as well as descriptive in the nature and used both primary and secondary data for the analysis. Primary data. The primary data is collected with the help of questionnaire. Secondary data. The secondary data were collected from various sources like newspaper, website, reports, and research papers. Sampling design. The sample for the present study.
Karapasamy, you could share your research findings.
Okay, ma'am. Opinion about classes. It is a double study relevant several interesting factors of information regarding online education. Among us, the advantage of online learning. 20% of the respondents perceived a flex time. 19% are considered comfort the home. 17% regard the emotional respect, and 16% that the ability to spend time with the family. Preferred device. It is a table various devices preferred by the respondent for attending the online classes. The smartphone 58% and the laptop 42%. Sources of internet. It is a table. It is a table.
Excuse
Yes,
me.
ma'am.
Can you please wind up your presentation? Can you please conclude?
Okay, ma'am. Conclusion. To sum up, all these factors should be considered while developing on online education to make it more effective and productivity for the learner. It's possible that once the COVID-19 pandemic settles down, we may see continued increase in education system using online platform for the study aids, albeit in the hybrid mode in combination with the regular classes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hereby begin the first paper presentation session of the two-day national online seminar. Indeed, we hope the first session is remarkable, memorable, and knowledgeable. We thank all the participants for their efforts in presenting their research paper presentation effectively. Now, may I request Mr. G. Kannan, Head Department of Tourism and Hotel Administration, to propose a vote of thanks.
Very good afternoon to one and all. It gives immense pleasure in delivering this vote of thanks. It's a wonderful program arranged by the IQAC team on the two-day national level online seminar on challenges and remedies in the online education in rural India. First and foremost, I express my sincere gratitude and to giving me an opportunity to delivering this vote of thanks. I take the privilege of thanking our Honorable Secretary for giving his valuable approval for this program. Thank you, sir. I thank our respected principal for organizing this program. Thank you, sir. I thank our vice principals, Dr. P.K. Balamuran, sir, Ms. R. Muthulashmi, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I thank Dr. M. Sujata, Head Department of Biotechnology, for introducing the chief guest. Thank you, ma'am. I thank Mrs. L. Priya, coordinator of IPSC, for making elaborate arrangements for this program. Thank you, ma'am. I thank our resource person, today's resource person, Dr. Md Raman, Professor, Department of Chemistry, the Gandhigram Rural University, for his wonderful introduction and the valuable speech given by him. Thank you very much, sir. I thank the rapporteur, Dr. V. Pratibha, Assistant Professor of Biotechnology. Thank you, ma'am. I thank the Master of Ceremony given by Mrs. S. Shanti and Mrs. J. Santana Christiana, Assistant Professors, Department of English. Thank you, ma'am. I thank our technical assistant team, Mr. G. Raghavan and Mr. P. Marinathu, the assistant administrators of Sri Kalishwari College, Sivagasi. Once again, I extend my sincere